as mentioned before, we all love and adore Mike. So, what was your sort of first thoughts whenever the news was finally confirmed? Because, as I said, it was a rumor for a little while, and we had kind of been talking in the group chat about it, and sort of like, is this going to happen? It doesn't really feel like something he would do. But then he did do another big studio movie, Doctor Sleep, which was a big sequel to a big horror film. So maybe he will do it. What was your initial thoughts when he did finally confirm it, or when it was confirmed by Blumhouse or whatever? And what do you think Mike will bring to the Exorcist universe?
Well, selfishly first, just from the King's point of view, because I know he's the rights to the Dark Tower and he's pushing to do that. Go on, do that, Mike. So I was like, okay, he's done The Life of Chuck. It's sitting in post-production at the minute, or I think it's done and it's just waiting to be, passed on to distributors, whatever. But yeah, once they announced, I was like, oh, there's going to be another wait for the Dark Tower. That was the initial reaction. But then before reading the articles about, the actual details of what it was going to be, I initially thought, wait, hang on. Is he doing a sequel to Believer? Because I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, because there's just where that film ends. You're like, well, where can you go with that sort of story next? From someone who didn't really have it planned out, like David Gordon Green probably had planned out for what he wanted to do with Deceiver. So I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I wasn't sure. But then, sure enough, once I read the article, it's a fresh take on it. It's almost like another reboot. I started thinking to myself, right, well, look what Mike Flanagan's managed to do with material that's been, deemed impossible either to adapt or to make a story out of. And I was like, well, if anyone can do something interesting with The Exorcist, it's probably Mike Flanagan. And then when you get further down the article, the quotes he writes about it and how much love and reverence he has for the originals, making me think, okay, he could do something interesting with this here. What I think he can do with it, I'm hoping he can have a bit more of a restrained approach. Because my problem with exorcism films in general is it's all, shaking cameras, jumping and screaming, and you're like, that's not scary to me. It's not atmospheric. It does absolutely nothing for me. But if you hand it to someone like Mike Flanagan, who really understands mood and atmosphere when it comes to horror films, I think he could do something special with it if he has the right story in place and, good script and a good cast in place. And, that's something that Mike Flanagan's had throughout his career. It's something he's proven time and time again through his TV shows and his movies. So I think it's going to be something more somber, lots of grief and lots of trauma and that there. That's just par for the course when it comes to his work. But he does it well because the thing that sort of defines Mike Flanagan as a horror filmmaker is he's the king of empathetic horror. So if he can bring that to The Exorcist again, I think he could do something interesting with it.